All right, guys, so once again, we got to talk about the leftist response to Roe v. Wade being overturned. And up until this video, up until this point, I have vehemently disagreed with their response to Roe v. Wade being overturned, as it has revealed their extremism, right? They put their extremism out on display for the world to see, right? We're talking about trying to assassinate a Supreme Court judge, doxing them, chasing them out of restaurants, threatening them, being racist towards them, calling to abolish the Supreme Court, showing us that they actually really don't believe in democracy and all the stuff they claim they believe in. The left has really showed themselves in regards to who they actually are in response to Roe v. Wade being overturned. However, with that being said, they're actually doing something that I agree with in response to Roe v. Wade that I want to talk about, because I find this to be fascinating, the response that some people are giving to Roe v. Wade being overturned, as apparently people are seeking some more permanent forms of birth control, right? Because of Roe v. Wade being overturned. We've done stories and we've seen stories about men who have sought vasectomies, particularly woke feminist men, right, have said, hey, I'm gonna go get a vasectomy because women's rights is being taken away, right? So that is happening. And also you have woke liberal women getting sterilized, right? They are seeking to get their tubes tied and to permanently prevent themselves from getting pregnant in response to Roe v. Wade. I want you guys to take a look at this clip of these women that are choosing to undergo this procedure because of a Supreme Court decision. Take a look.
As America navigates a post-Roe v. Wade world, a staggering number of women are now considering permanent sterilization procedures. Following the Supreme Court decision, Google searches for procedures like tube tying or tubal ligation surged as much as 200%. I traveled to Austin, Texas, where I spoke with 3 women about how the latest abortion restrictions affected their decision. Here at Women's Health Domain, a clinic in Austin, Texas.
Good morning, thank you for calling.
Dr. Tyler Handcock says his team has been fielding more calls than ever.
They're asking for permanent sterilization.
So permanent sterilization, tubes removed?
Yes.
All since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, ending the nationwide right to abortion.
They want something permanent because they fear that tomorrow there'll be no other option.
How many were calling before versus after that Supreme Court decision?
1 to 2 a week would be average. The weekend following, there were 200 messages by Sunday night.
Since this is an afternoon.
In fact, he says he's received so many requests asking for permanent sterilization that he and the practice's co-owner, Dr. Amy Chapman, hold weekly group information sessions. I mean, how many people are in this room?
A little over 20 at a time.
Per session?
Per session. How are you today? Good, how are you?
A decision 27-year-old Brooklyn McNair, who's pregnant with her 4th child, says she's planning to make soon, influenced by the Supreme Court ruling.
I don't want any more. I'll be 27 in October, and I'm just done.
You're done?
I'm done.
So are you for sure that sterilization is something that you want to do, or just something you want to learn more about?
I think it's something for sure I want to do.
And she's not alone. Google searches for sterilization procedures surged by as much as 200% after the Supreme Court decision. And membership in some Facebook support groups for women seeking the procedures has nearly doubled, with one group growing by 2,500 members since the ruling came down.
Being able
Groups Megan Salon and Ashley Ball both joined. So, Megan, you already had your tubes removed?
Yes.
And Ashley, you're about to begin the procedure?
Yeah, I'm in the process of consultations.
What was behind the timing of when you decided to have this procedure?
After the draft decision was leaked, I decided to schedule the procedure sooner than I had originally anticipated.
What was it about that leak that made you say, I'm going to do something for myself now?
Well, I've always known I didn't want children, and I didn't want to be in a position where I didn't want children and would lack access to contraception as well.
So, like Megan, I have always known that I didn't want kids, and when we started seeing more of the restrictions coming through, that's when I scheduled my first consultation appointment.
They say others like them are often dismissed by doctors who are reluctant to perform the procedure.
You're told that you are too young to make this decision, or what if your significant other wants children someday?
What if you change your mind?
What if you change your mind? What if you regret this someday?
Let's be honest, there's a lot of judgment around the decision to have this procedure, around this decision in general.
Right.
What do you say to people who don't understand.
Sterilization or permanent contraception is just as permanent as choosing to have a child, right? So a lot of the arguments against it, like, well, what if you regret it? You could say the same thing about having a kid.
It's a choice they expect to see even more women making in the days ahead.
Nobody wants to be put in a situation where they have to make a choice between, you know, the medical health of whoever is having that kid and the kid itself. So a lot of people are just saying, okay, we're not going to. We're going to go for sterilization instead.
Wow. Wow. Isn't it amazing how when you take away the ability to hit the eject button on life, how these women actually start to be responsible. They start to do things that a lot of people who are against abortion have been advocating for, which is to be responsible, right? To say, hey, you know what? Maybe you should just prevent yourself from getting pregnant in the first place, right? So that you don't have to have this procedure, right? Well, how about you do that? And it's amazing how when they feel forced to do it, right, just because Roe v. Wade has been overturned, and a lot of their states that, you know, these women, you know, are freaking out about this, and they haven't really even enacted, you know, abortion laws that are really going to be, you know, all that much different than they are right now. They're just freaking out at the idea, right? So they're like, oh, you know, I got to go get sterilized, right? I have to use birth control, right? Which is something that I am a huge advocate of, okay? Now, I know some conservatives, particularly Catholic folks, don't agree with it. However, I'm a realist, right? I live in the real world. People are going to have sex, okay? I don't care how much you tell them not to, they're going to do it, right? And I would rather them do it and not have kids than to have kids when they're not ready, especially when they're not financially ready, because that has negative externalities on society. So I am very pro birth control, right? And I have no issues with women who say, hey, you know what? I want to sterilize myself because, you know, hey, I don't have the option, again, to hit the eject button on life if I happen to get pregnant. I'm 100% for it. I 100% agree with what you're doing, right? Because, again, that to me is a better solution and alternative to, you know, getting pregnant, right? And then having that procedure done. But again, it really amazes me how freaked out people are about this, because it's like, bruh, we have birth control available, right? We have condoms, right? We have the pill that you can take. We even got Plan B, at least for right now in some states before they end up banning that. But I'm just saying, right? We have all that stuff available. For whatever reason, it seems like these people want to have sex without consequences, right? They don't want to use a condom. They don't want to take birth control by pill, right? So they want to be able to do that without using any of those other contraceptives. So now they've resulted to getting their tubes stopped, right? That to me seems to be what's up here, right? It seems to me that is the issue, okay? Because you already have the option of preventing yourself from getting pregnant, and they're pretty effective. They're very effective. They're very effective. But for some reason, these people feel like it's not enough. Okay, but now, again, that they don't have the emergency eject button anymore, they're like, you know what? You know, I really don't want to use condoms. I really don't want to take oral birth control or anything like that. Let me just get my tubes tied. Hey, you know, if you want to sterilize yourself, it is what it is. You know, again, I just find it fascinating how this is what liberals are resorting to in response to Roe v. Wade. And I just got a gut feeling. Right? For the same people who love to talk about population dynamics and stuff like that, I just got a feeling this is something they're probably going to end up regretting when, you know, a large portion of the people with their political ideology start sterilizing themselves. I got a feeling. I just got a gut feeling they're going to regret this in the next, you know, 30, 40, 50 years when, you know, you have people that chose not to do that having more kids, right? I just got a feeling that a lot of these woke revolutionaries and Democrat Party, again, 50 years from now, is going to be looking back in this and saying, wow, right? Why do we let a large portion of our society just hit the eject button on life and also promote sterilizing themselves, right? Really didn't make sense, okay? But hey, it is what it is, man. It's a free country, right? Do what you want to do, as long as it doesn't involve taking an unborn life or indoctrinating children in your sexual and gender ideology in a red state, that is. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.